It's the largest sequence of matches without a win in the Broncos' 19-year history. 7 straight defeats in 86-87 remains their worst losing run. But the Broncos know their last win on Good Friday came here 12 points to 10 against the Hull Sharks, and they have drawn 2 of the last 3, but it's their worst ever run in the Super League. And Martin Offiah, of course, another of the famous faces missing from the Broncos side here tonight. Another former Wiganer who wrote and rewrote so many of the records during his time there. Wigan, beaten 19 points to 2 by Bradford last Sunday, have now lost 4 this year, and their top 5 place is jeopardised. They lost 38 points to 12 here in 1997, and they edged home 18 points to 15 last August. But a further defeat could actually seal their fate about a top 3 place. The London Broncos side: Fleming at fullback, Smythe, Ryan, Timu and Peters. Ayre and Hammond is the halfback and captain, and that's a surprise. Not that he's captain, the fact that he's playing at halfback. Up front it's Cram, Beasley and Millard, Retchless and Wynyard, and Matt Toshak is the loose forward. And the bench tonight for London occupied by Peter Gill, Dean Callaway, Adi Spencer and Anthony Seibold. The coach is Dan Staines. Now the Warriors of Wigan: Radlinski at fullback, Davis, Moore, Florimo and Jones. Jones no doubt will kick the goals. Robinson moves to stand off alongside Tony Smith. And the forwards: Cowie, Clark comes straight back into the first team, Mestrov, Cassidy and Horton's second row. Dennis Betts not only taking the place of Andy Farrell at loose forward, but he's also the Wigan captain. And on the bench, Reba, O'Connor, Gilmore and young Liam Bretherton for coach John Money. So just to emphasise that, a further setback would be a real problem, because John Money reckons top 3 is vital for grand final hopes. 52 tries scored and 22 conceded. A great defence. Andy Farrell, they'll obviously miss him, but Mick Cassidy is out there, their top tackler. They're running 5th in Super League at the moment. And for the first time in Super League, a new captain leads Wigan onto the field for this match. Dennis Betts jogs out ahead of the men in cherry and white, and their supporters have travelled south at the start of this bank holiday weekend to be here to cheer the Warriors on. So here are the Broncos. Out, Tollett, who played in the reserve grade, Edwards, Wharton, Bradstreet and Young, all long-term. Also Robbie Simpson and Matt Salter, who also played in the reserve grade match. And Carl Hammond leads his men onto the field. Modest try scorers, 32, but look at the problem in defence that they've had. 51 tries conceded this season. And Shane Millard, their top tackler, despite the fact that Steele Retchless is back in the side. And there goes Retchless just through the screen behind the number 6 and captain Carl Hammond. But Steele Retchless, he's missed the last 3 with a broken hand after that deed of daring do in the Cup semi-final that got this club to Wembley for the first time. Shirt sleeve order, beautiful evening here in London, and Steve-o, this could be a belter.
Well, it certainly has been building up to it. There's Dan Staines, made an amazing sort of selection with Glenn Ayre at standoff, Carl Hammond at halfback. The only thing I can think about is that perhaps Jason Robinson, who John Money has moved in from the wing, he's brought him to stand off. Robinson's explosive speed may have been a problem for Carl Hammond. Glenn Ayre, one of the best defenders.
Match referee is Steve Ganson, blows the whistle and we're off. Carl Hammond, it looked for a moment as though Ryan was about to kick off, but Hammond came in from the left-hand side, grubbed it along the ground. Florimo picked it up, gave it to Horton, and here now is John Clark back in Super League after an enforced absence, and he scored 5 tries recently in the reserve team at Widnes, and he earned his recall and he will earn his stripes here. Cowie now.
Talk about earning your stripes. The return of Steele Retchless, he did the first 3 tackles. He's back in a big way.
And there he is again, tackling Mick Cassidy. That's the 5th, so he's done 4 of the opening 5 tackles of this match. Steele Retchless, and he was hunting Tony Smith then. And what's more, he has had and is playing on with a pain-killing injection as Greg Fleming runs this ball back.
Beautiful kick downfield and a great chase as well, because you can see the lengthening shadows there. Not so much a problem for London. Still Reckless, as Eddie mentioned, 4 out of the first 5. What a tremendous defender is Steele Reckless. Keep your eyes on him. Number 12, he'll work overtime throughout the full 80.
Wynyard taking the tackle with the head guard. They're appealing Robbie Beasley anyway for a penalty, but none forthcoming. Now they get one. Interference, hands in at the play the ball.
Just a little bit slow to get away, Neil Cowie.
I told you on the
Simon
last one,
Horton was
straight
there
off,
and,
don't be staying up.
Just a little bit too slow for the official Steve Ganson. Big pressure on Ganson, of course. Both these sides, though, they love to play open football. But the biggest problem that London Broncos have had this season, 51 tries against. That is not good reading.
Well, a slight delay while the ball is retrieved from the crowd. Toshak will restart. Gives it to the big man Cram. Good driving run and a good tackle from one of the smallest in the Wigan side, Tony Smith. This now is Beasley again. Good darting run to the 20-metre line. Hammond is at dummy half. Finds Millard. Millard tries to go between Smith and Horton. Grounded 10 metres out. Beasley again. Goes left. Finds Hammond. Back on the inside to Wynyard. Wynyard gets the Broncos to within 8 metres of the line. Here's Millard again. Trying to keep the ball alive. It was risky business and Beasley reacted the first.
This will be Hammond with the kick, surely.
Hammond has it. Flicks it wide. Here's chances. They must score. Toshak! Toshak gets in. Wigan were pulled in and there was a huge gap out wide. They had an overlap of 3-1 and problems early for John Money as London get the first try of the match in the opening couple of minutes. Matt Toshak with the try, his second of 1999.
Wigan fell for it, so did I. Hammond had raised the arm, said he was indicating that he was going to put the kick up for the big bomb. Glen Eyre out wide. Beautiful dummy by the loose forward, and Toshak takes the first try of the game. They really held off him. He threw a dink, ball out wide. Soon as they committed themselves, he used Reckless as a dummy, and Toshak, what an opening for the Broncos. No defence there. Florimo far too late. A well-worked move. The Wigan defence caught out.
Well, Matt Toshak, he has missed just one so far in 1999, and he got that try in the defeat by Warrington at the Stoop last month, and he also scored a try and defeated Wigan last year. In the 3/4 last year, Toshak, now in the forwards. Great kick this. And Rob Smythe comes up with 2 glorious points against his former club.
There's Hammond circle, but look at the defence, no pressure. They're anticipating the kick also. And soon as he did the step and the dink, notice how he used Reckless out wide. And soon as Glen Eyre got the ball away, there was nothing that they could do about it. Phil Jones went out. Florimo failed to fill in.
Well, what a start for the London Broncos. And here comes Millard again. Well, will that sting Wigan into action? They lost last week, of course. We saw them at Odsal.
Well,
19-2.
John Money will be far from impressed with the way that their defence held back. You cannot anticipate that the kick is going to come on the last. They went for the power play and came up trumps.
Big lad, Scott Cram. This is Hammond. Looks like he's relishing the opportunity of playing scrum half and indeed leading the side tonight. Toshak takes the tackle, try scorer. Timu is the dummy half, and Hammond with a big kick down the field. Radlinski is after it, but it eluded him. Collects it on his own try line. Good kick. Now what about the chase? Not bad.
That's the way to do it. He was under a lot of pressure there, Carl Hammond, but he made sure that Radlinski had to turn around. It's all vital seconds. It surprised me. Rydlinski looked really out of it last week against Bradford. It looked perhaps they were talking about him maybe out for 3 or 4 weeks, and the recovery rate of Rydlinski is quite amazing.
Good tackling on Horton, but he still manages to get the ball away. That was Clark, and this now is Dennis Betts. Betts getting away from Beasley and having a word with the London hooker. This is Florimo playing in the centres today. Back it goes to Tony Smith. And Smith with a great kick downfield. Fleming is after it. And a good chase from Wigan. The Fleming, good run. Tackled by Jones. Second Division Player of the Year last year, Phil Jones with Lancashire Lynx. Here's Rob Smythe now. Good run from the former Wiganer. Beautiful goal he kicked, Steve, from the touchline.
Well, that's the reason why he's in ahead of Martin of Fire, though Martin of Fire does have an injury to the thumb. He played in the Alliance last week. Played very well, according to Tony Ray, the chief executive here. Oh, good defence.
Big hit. Big hit by Danny Moore on his opposite number 3, Chris Ryan.
He felt that one.
Here's Retchless, tried to fool Cassidy with the dummy, and Cassidy got the tackle in. Beasley now at dummy half again. Hammond once more, this time with the kick, over the top of the defenders. Good kick too, and it bounces and ambles its way to the touchline.
In fine form, Carl Hammond playing in the unusual position at halfback rather than his normal standoff. Been a good season for him. He had a tremendous match at Wembley, especially in the first half. He's been a tremendous buy for them, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's rediscovered the form he displayed at St Helens in 1996 when they won the championship that year, the inaugural Super League title. And of course, Hammond also went on the 96 tour that year. Here now is Betts. Good strong run from Betts. He will be fired up tonight. He won't want to be the Wigan captain who led his team to defeat on his debut as the skipper. Now then, Cowie. Wynyard and Cran getting through a lot of work. The two new boys, last tackle, good defence from London. Wigan deep in their own half. Radlinski with the kick.
Big problems for the hooker, Robbie Beasley. He's limping. That's a fantastic kick. Good work there. Dominic Peters made sure he got in the field of play, but there is big problems for Beasley. It looks like a twisted ankle.
Maybe they will give him the opportunity to run the problem off, but maybe not, because I notice Dean Calloway is stripped and ready to come into the action. Looks as though Beasley won't be taking much further part in this, but here's Smythe. That was a telling tackle from Phil Jones. He had to pull him down.
Jones did well there, offered him the option on the outside. Knew that the whitewash would help him.
Well, Beasley has been withdrawn and Calloway, number 15, is on. That's a fabulous chase again from Toshak and Retchless. Radlinski going down. Here's Wes Davis.
Talking of going down, Beasley's flat on his back and in a lot of pain. Receiving treatment just on the sideline.
Danny Moore now. Saw a glimpse there of Beasley in great strife. Here's Cowie. Cowie gets Wigan bravely to the halfway line. On the last tackle, though, it's going to have to be a kick from Tony Smith. Turning Peters around once again. That will stand up for him, though.
Nice kick, good chase. He's come on a bundle, though, as Dominic Peters.
Fifth in a row now on the wing for Dominic Peters.
Well, it raised a few eyebrows when Dan Staines, the Broncos coach, selected him ahead of Martin of Fire when he was fit. But he'd done everything right there. Good position, anticipated that kick from Smith. Ooh, that was a bit high there from Smith, but got away with it.
Cram's a tall fella. Here's Retchless, trying to run through Cassidy. But Nick Cassidy stood his ground well. Now Wynyard.
Good basic football by the Broncos. They don't look as though they're in any hurry. Holding the 6-point lead. Oh,
Lovely play from Hammond, and he kicked it again. That'll be play on. It's a charge down, and it is 6 to go. Wynyard retains possession for the Broncos.
Quick thinking by Hammond on both occasions. Tip over the top, and then he got a boot to it.
This is Fleming. Calloway in at dummy half. No Beasley. Penalty to London. Hands in at the ruck. Neil Cowie again singled out by referee Steve Ganson.
Well, this indiscipline will not be pleasing the Wigan coach, John Money. Just the interference and the messing around at the play of the ball. But this is wonderful play by Hammond. In and out, pushed someone out of the way, realised there was no way out of it. Robinson was straight on him. I'm not so sure it was a charge down. Rydlinski didn't know what was coming.
I think his hands were up, and that was what gave London the benefit of the doubt. But Hammond's kicking, and Hammond's brain is causing this Wigan defence one or two problems, and no wonder John Money doesn't look the happiest bunny in London at the moment. He knows, Steve-O, that top three is absolutely vital to grand final ambitions. And another setback here, and I know it's a long season, but Wigan, their place in the top three will certainly be in jeopardy.
Have to agree on that point. Of course, John Money made a huge gamble bringing Jason Robinson in from the wing. Have to see how long he stays in that position and stand off.
Well, Rob Smythe kicked a belter off the touchline not long ago. Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. And what's more, he didn't even get the ball dead. So here comes Florimo.
That was a bad miss by, I think it was Timu.
And Toshak now concedes the penalty, slowing Wigan down this time.
Well, Timu missed a tackle. He also, Rob Smythe not getting enough power. And there you see Toshak. Well, he just wouldn't release him. Had 4 goes, did Greg Florimo, to get away. Well, it's things like that. Missing the quite simple penalty. You put the mock on him, Eddie.
Well, it was a storming kick. He kicked off the line for the conversion. That one you would have thought he would eat for dinner, but he pushed it wide of the uprights. Here's Betts now. Wonder if Wigan will see that as an escape. 6-0. Should have been 8-0, really. And again, I wonder whether London will pay the price of not having a recognised goal kicker out there. I know Wharton is out with a broken bone, and Smythe has done well as a replacement in emergency.
Well, it's important Wigan now really roll the sleeves up and use their forwards to get them some ground forward. Well, that must have been close to a shepherd. Crowd don't like it.
Wharton, I'm told, by the way, 6 weeks away from full fitness. And here's Robinson at standoff, moved in off the wing. Robinson's after this himself. Oh, that ball was spilled. It would have been diffused had it been taken. And in the end, Fleming was brave to get the ball back out. But the point I was going to make, Steve-O, as Robinson threw that kick up, Robinson's been moved to stand off to accommodate, really, Phil Jones, who will do the kicking tonight for Wigan. And Jones is a good goal kicker.
Well, he's certainly got the record in lower grades, hasn't he? But there again, we saw that when that kick from Robinson, it was far too far. And the Wigan attack, going in to make sure that they want to get the defence covered through, they held off. And they allowed Fleming the chance to get into the field of play.
Radlinski did well underneath that high kick from Hammond. He gets Wigan to halfway.
Well, I'm wondering when John Money will throw in Lee Gilmore, because they really need somebody there to make this break. It's the best way to lift their spirits. Oh, that's a knock-on offload from
John Clark. Just took his eye off the ball at the vital moment and then fumbled it again.
Did 3 goes at it in the end. 1, 2 and 3.
Got it on the 3rd time. Yeah, the Lee Gilmore situation is interesting. Young Player of the Year last year, in great form, but he's not really set Super League 4 alight, has he? Not had the opportunities, to be fair.
Hasn't been many out in the Wigan camp that's done that. But to be fair, that people like Mick Cassidy and Jason Robinson, they certainly give their all throughout this season. But as you say, when you're running well, to use Gilmore as an impact player, yes. But when you're struggling to get into top form, I'd start with him.
Here's Wynyard again. Andrew Wynyard, debut against Salford a couple of weeks ago, and a try in his home debut here against Gateshead last week. Oh, almost through. That was Hammond again. Quick play the ball. Timu. Now then, that's not a bad kick. It's hanging. Who wants it? Radlinski does.
Tremendous high kick, but wonderful take by the fullback, Radlinski. Eyes on the football. You could see Glenair was zoning in on him. So much strength, hasn't he, Redlinski? But I must mention again that he looked dead on his feet last week against Bradford in what to be a serious injury.
Now Mick Cassidy. Good tackling though. In quickly it was Callaway and Scott Cran.
And it's solid tackling as well. That's play on.
It is now because London have got it back. Would have been 6 to go, I think, had Wigan got hold of it again, but as it is, it's more pressure.
Well, that was a poor kick away, and that's allowed London to get into a good position.
Great position. Ayr turns the ball out wide. It's Rob Smythe again. Robinson was waiting for him with Phil Jones. Glenair at dummy half this time. And here's Millard. Cowie was the first to react. Now Hammond. And it goes to Cram, and Cram driving it up the middle. They're underneath the sticks.
Good turn of speed there from the big fella. Oh, it looks as though he's caught a knock.
This is the last one. Hammond, neat reverse pass. And the Wigan man, Florimo, is forced out of the field of play. It'll be a dropout underneath the posts.
Quick thinking there. You could see he was hooking the ball back across the face. Good job that Florimo was there. Well, they're under a lot of pressure, Wigan. Be lucky to get away from this one, but what a start for that man, Carl Hammond. He's involved in everything.
Jones with the dropout, and it stands up perfectly for Dominic Peters. And Peters runs it straight back at the Wigan defence. Really, they have got them on the back foot here. Callaway. Glenair now. Busy. Through the gap, round the corner, looking for Smythe. Smythe couldn't take it in. It was almost brilliant.
Well, the last pass wasn't all that good. Florimo, did he get a hand to it? Either way, Smythe nearly got it on the half bounce. Just couldn't take it in. But on that left-hand side, Wigan are having a lot of problems. Remember, Greg Florimo out there in the centres. Phil Jones out there. Big problem for them.
Here's Florimo now. Couldn't get away from the London defence. London enjoying the greater of the possession in this first half. 18 minutes of it gone at the moment. They would probably, to be critical and nitpicking, want more points on the board at this stage for all that possession, because Wigan is so dangerous when they're wounded. Cowie plays the ball. Clark hands it on to Mestrov, who gave great service to this London club. Gets it away brilliantly to Clark again. Here now is Tony Smith. Wynyard wraps him up. Good defence from London.
Very flat in attack, though, the Warriors. They've got to sort that out. That means they've got to stand a lot deeper, run onto the football.
Betts takes the tackle, then plays the ball to Clark. Back it goes to Robinson. Robinson he attempted to dink that over the top, but drilled it straight into the chest of Peters. And Peters runs it back, but across the face of the field.
Poor kick. John Mooney will have to sort a lot of things out there. The kicking game, the one before that was charged down, remember, which put even more pressure on Wigan. And as you just saw there, Robinson's kick straight down the throat of Peters.
This is Fleming. Chances here for Callaway, making good ground. Wynyard is the man in support. Last tackle, 12 metres inside the Wigan half of the field, the Broncos. It's with Hammond, shaped to kick, fooled Horton, gaps opened up for Hammond, they've got some support out wide, kick in field, Toshak's after it, they got in each other's way, Cram and Toshak made an absolute porridge of that. They were both waiting for each other to take over the situation, and they collided, and the chance went begging.
Beautiful work from Hammond. There wasn't a Wigan player anywhere within Cooey. Look at them, 3 of them, get out of the way, I want it. Wow, talk about bombing a try. All that sensational build-up by Carl Hammond. Unbelievable. But the most unbelievable thing about it, where was the Wigan defence? There was no cover.
None at all. He had support left and right. He elected for the kick over the top, Carl Hammond, and a diagonal kick at that, and Wigan were gone. But they just couldn't take the kick in.
Oh, what a game Carl Hammond is having. He's controlling this. Again, they run for the power play.
This is Danny Moore. Good tackling by Retchless. Last one. Still 20 metres inside their own half. It's with Radlinski now. He's gone for the 40-20, but he's not got the angle right, and Fleming is able to collect. Radlinski following up his own kick, but he wasn't there when the tackle was made. It was Horton, and it was Tony Smith. Here's Chris Ryan now. Callaway off the ground into the arms of Timu, and Timu steps on the inside, gets away from Cowie almost, and a good job that John Clark was there. Well, London are really pushing Wigan back time and time again. Callaway, good ground again from dummy half from Callaway. Reverse pass, fooled everybody. Hammond was first to react. Last one, Peter Gill. Oh, over the top and straight out on the full. The old warhorse, Peter Gill. His 99th appearance for the Broncos tonight, but he will want to forget that little moment. Look at the possession, Steve-O, in the opposition half.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Well, I get the impression that Wigan are hitting the line and then wanting to turn. Now, that's fine, providing you've got 2-3 runners, but Wigan don't have any runners at all. The offloads will be quite high for Wigan, but they're not making that progress.
Well, Terry O'Connor has just come on for Mestrov, and there's his first touch. He will try to get them going forward.
Well, he knows the way to get over that advantage line. They need something badly.
Radlinski, good play. He alluded to then Ryan and Hammond, got the pass away to Danny Moore, and Danny Moore saw a gap. It was quickly closed by Millard and Ryan. Last tackle again here for Wigan, and Tony Smith will hoist the midfield bomb.
It's a better kick. Oh, what a take.
Fleming took it airborne, and what's more, he collided here with Cassidy, and Cassidy got knees accidentally in the kidneys.
Well, it's amazing. Fleming was dropped back because of the injury to Tollett, and he really has taken the position at fullback. He's making it his own. Tollett, of course, played in the Alliance before this game, had a good match too, but Fleming is on fire.
Retchless gets the pass away to Air. He finds Ryan.
That's a big hit from Smith, and not one of the officials saw it. Well, the touch judge was about 4 metres away.
But he didn't see that. That ball has bounced. It bounced very unkindly for Phil Jones.
Watch this. Crunch. Well, how come officials miss that? That's ridiculous.
Clark to O'Connor. Gets the ball, tucks it underneath the left arm, puffs the cheeks out, tries to get over the advantage line, Terry O'Connor. Generally does. Here's his prop forward colleague, Neil Cowie, to the halfway line. John Clark up with one hand, off to Robinson. Good ball from Robinson to Cassidy. Cassidy taking on Fleming. Wonderful tackle from the London fullback. But a beautiful ball from Robinson sets this attack in motion. It's the last tackle here for Wigan, and they're running it with Robinson again. It's now with Radlinski. They fancy their chances, Wigan. Florimo back to Robinson. Spins out of the tackles. Gets the pass away. Almost. London have got it back. Robinson started that, and Robinson so nearly finished it.
As Eddie said, it was a beautiful inside pass to Cassidy. The first really worked move that Wigan have put on in this match. And then lo and behold, Robinson throws a bad pass, and the pressure is off. First real good chance. Beautiful timed run by Cassidy. As I mentioned before, Eddie, the offload from Wigan is very good. But that was the first time that they had someone running onto the football.
Well, 25 minutes or thereabouts gone on the watch, and it's been all London Broncos, and they will be a little dismayed, I think, that they're not more ahead than 6 points to nil. And London should have done better with the possession they've had, but Wigan, well, they'll be delighted. They're still in this game, and they're starting to get to the pace of it now.
Well, they had a big let-off, didn't they, when there was 4 men all running for the Hammond kick back across the face of the post.
And what's more, Wigan are getting back in terms of possession of this first half. let's have some injury news from Bill on the side.
Well, are things looking up for the London Broncos? Two players come off injured, Robbie Beasley and Scott Cram, and miraculously they could both go back on. Now, earlier on this season, if they'd come off injured, chances were they were Broncos players. They were probably out for a number of weeks, but Scott Cram is running up and down the touchline again, having got over a knock to the knee, and Robbie Beasley's just got a dead leg, and that's wearing off as well.
Well, Rob Smythe took the gamble then of allowing the ball to bounce, but Robinson at standoff is trying all he knows to get Wigan on the score sheet. Remember, they didn't score a try last week for 80 minutes, and we're now in the 26th minute of this match, so how often in the past have Wigan waited 106 minutes before scoring a four-pointer?
Big problem, isn't it? And also the fact that they're opting for Robinson to take control of the kicking game out there. I would have opted for Tony Smith. He's a more experienced kicker. Robinson not noted for field kicking.
Callaway at dummy half. Hammond again. Good short pass, and Glen Eyre was nearly through, and Cowie gets the pat on the back.
Again, it's on that left wing there that Wigan are having problems. It's their right centre and wing formation. There's Florimo, very slow to get back into the defensive line yet again.
Retchless hit the ball at some pace, tried to go through the gap. This is the last one for London now. Millard, Callaway, on it goes to Hammond, who's having a wow of a game, but not the best pass. Fleming had disappeared. Glen Eyre, though, manages to keep the movement going to Timu. Timu over the top. This is a race. Timu! Oh, it could be a try, I think, though. Did Timu knock it on? Callaway's touchdown. The referee's sure to go for the video ref. He's sure to go for this, and I think there might have been a little knock on. But has Dean Callaway come up with the second London try? Knock on, and was the man on or offside? Two areas for the video referee to check on.
Now then, did John Timu get a touch to this? It was a beautiful chip over the top. Pushes Robinson out of the way. We have to see whether he touches it. No, it's off Robinson, I feel. This will be a try. Callaway to gift. And I think that Callaway came from an onside position. I think that came off Robinson's hands, but it's pretty hard to see. They'll have to slow this one down. Yep. Robinson's fingertips get to that before John Timu. Oh, the marvel of the slow motion replay. It really does help the video referees. And Callaway has come, in my opinion, from an onside position. This will be a gift, 4 points. The only worry now is who touched the ball first. That's the reason why we're going virtually frame by frame. And they will see it's either Timu or Robinson's hand. And I think from that one, it's Robinson. It's going backwards now. They'll roll it forwards. And that is the impact. And I think Timu has just missed it. It's a close call, but this will be TRY for me.
And the try is given. And London have another 4 points, and Dean Callaway gets the try.
Well, it came from a mistake out wide. They were forced to run it. Instead of kicking the football, Hammond, see how it went backwards. Good work there. Millard got it away. Timu thought it was a dead-end street. Tip over the top. Robinson knocks it forward. Callaway, what a gift, 4 points. But one quick thinking. Timu has taken a long time to settle into British football. The former All Black has all the skills. And Callaway poaches the 4. He's happy.
Look at the reaction when he saw the 3 little letters appear on the big screen. Dean Callaway loves us coming here. His only other try was when we featured the game against Castleford. So Rob Smythe, now then, I wouldn't like to predict this one going over after what happened last time, but it's into the wide blue yonder, and London Broncos have a 12-0 advantage over Wigan here at the Stoop, and that more or less reflects the balance of power in this first half now.
Well, the video referee is the experienced Jerry Kershaw. Great referee in his time. And that's the reason he went to the slow-mo. And it was proved that Robinson had the touch. Callaway gets the 4. London have gone further ahead. More problems for the Warriors.
Kick-off was a short one, really, and Peter Gill was able to collect it, run it back. Here's Dominic Peters. Tackled by Cassidy and by Reba.
Well, not surprising. Lee Gilmore is standing on the sidelines. John Money is desperate to get some explosiveness out there. They need something to get back into this game, and only a try will do that.
Callaway, dummy half. Wynyard now, formerly with the St George Illawarra, and he would have been delighted with their victory today, I'm sure, against the Melbourne Storm. That's a huge kick from Hammond again. It hangs. Radlinski takes it, and Fleming allowed him to get the ball, and with feet firmly planted on the ground, only then could Fleming close in for the tackle, and he came in with a beauty.
Oh, great teamwork. Fullback Fleming realised that he had to stand behind the kicker, Carl Hammond. It does not waste a big kick like that. It's using your brains, and it's big problems for Wigan. They are finding it tough to get out of their own quarter.
The captain leaves the field in the blood bin. Lovely ball from O'Connor to Reba.
He's lost it.
He has. So here comes the counter-attack led by Ayr, now on to Timu. And here's Rob Smythe. Fancies taking them on down the wing. And he's rolled almost into touch. Lost the ball.
Well, that was the forward pass that I felt came from O'Connor. Not seen by the officials either way. Reba lost the football, then Smythe thought he was going into touch, tried to release the ball back on the inside.
Danny Moore. Retchless downstairs, and over the top came Callaway. Reba at dummy half. O'Connor almost through Callaway. Good run, good strong run from the prop forward, O'Connor.
That's better, that's what they need. Good, hard, solid work. And you can see Gilmore at least is running onto it, but that is a fantastic tackle.
Yes, Millard, not the biggest, but he certainly puts himself about, and there he is again. Millard without the head guard, Wynyard with it.
Well, Millard, normally a second rower, but probably one of the smallest props going around in Super League. That's
kick,
far too strong.
Too deep, touching goal. Shane Millard, 16 tackles. When we talk about Steele Retchless putting himself about, but Millard, 16 tackles. And as you say, Steve-O, not the biggest prop forward in the world, but one of the most effective.
Well, they hunt as a pack, don't they? And as we saw from the kickoff, which set the scene, set the tone for it all, when Steele Retchless, back from a few weeks out with injury, does the first 4 out of the first 5.
Peters with the strong run at the middle, met by a fierce tackle from Cowie.
But look how easy London are controlling things out there.
Fleming plays it to Callaway. This now is Hammond. Ball back on the inside to that man Millard again.
Wigan's defence not moving up quick enough. They're allowing London to control things.
Hammond, good ball to Wynyard, and he keeps on going as well, makes a few more metres. 30 away from the Wigan try line. The kick from Hammond will hang. And that's great play from the Wigan fullback, Chris Radlinski again. He's been faultless under these high balls.
So cool there from Radlinski. And at a time that he's been peppered with these high bombs. That was a massive kick.
This is the way it looks head-to-head, all meeting since 1980. London just 4 victories, Wigan 14. And here at London, 3 London wins to Wigan's 6.
Good work from Cowie there. That's better to offload, but they've thrown it and wasted it again. Tony Smith lost the football, or at least trying to offload in an impossible position.
Hammond away to Gill. Gill takes the tackle from Robinson. Timu is dummy half now. He scampers forward.
Again, on that left-hand side, aiming at the Wigan right angle.
Wynyard.
We've barely seen the play this side.
Well, what would they give to have Andy Farrell fully fit and out there on the field, Wigan? Hammond, it was a Wonderful take from him. Gill released the ball, but it was round his ankles. Not the best pass, but Fleming tidies up and dabs it into space over the top. Quickly filled that space by Radlinski. Flicks the pass away to Davis. And Wes Davis sets off.
That was a dodgy pass there. Radlinski yet again. Tremendous position. But what a big tackle there on Davis by Wigan.
Dan Staines, it's all going according to plan for him at the moment. Here now is Lee Gilmore, trying to make an impression in this match, as is O'Connor.
Well, a change of tactics surely from Wigan. We haven't seen a run from dummy half. They're not applying the pressure on the first and second markers for London. They're not even making them work.
Horton with the draw. We thought about releasing that. There's the point Steve-O's made. 3 runs from dummy half, London 13. Skip over the top and the ball will jump and bobble away. And so another Wigan attack found us. 12-0, they trail.
Little doubt that John Money, Warriors coach, will be having stern words in regards to their kicking game in this first half. Been far too long. Tony Smith, neither Robinson has hit the mark with any of them.
Well, John Money's team have just lost their 4th game in 11 weeks. Identical to 1997, by the way, for the entire season, and you'd be interested to know they finished 4th that year. It'll be an uphill battle for them if they lose another match here to get better than that, even though it is a long show. He lost at Peters, but it went backwards.
He was lucky to get away with it. Losing the ball at the play, the ball should be a scrum down as a knock-on, but there you see it. He does that a lot. He really should regain his feet and then place the ball down. But John Money has to change things. He's got to put Robinson back on his normal position onto the wing and bring Florimo in at stand-off and at least get the 2 half-backs working together.
Well, that kick from Glenair went out on the fall and he raises the arm to acknowledge the mistake.
Far too long. 2 meters over the whitewash. Well, Wigan really are desperate to at least get a break. We've only seen the one, that was from Cassidy when Robinson, beautiful reverse inside pass. Other than that, I'm afraid the Wigan fans have had little to cheer about.
Will they have something here before half-time? How many occasions have we seen Wigan score right on the bell in the first half? And they're coming forward again, looking now for 4 points to take with them into the half-time team talk from John Money. This is Tony Smith. He's got support here from Davis. Davis will hack the ball in, looking for Smith. Cram is there, and Cram palmed the ball dead.
Did well, the big prop forward. Nice kick from Davis.
Good vision.
Superbly weighted. And he could see that Tony Smith was herring through. But this is amazing effort from a big prop forward. Normally they're having a breather way up the field. And Scott Cram has come to the rescue. Great vision, as Eddie mentioned, from that young kid. Wes Davis, he knew there was nowhere round, but he'll get a pat on the back from the coach Dan Staines in the half-time break, that is for sure.
Well, referee Steve Ganson's held up the clock. I think they might invest in a few more ball boys here at the Stoop in future.
Well, with the clock counting down to half-time, I don't think there's any rush, Eddie.
No, but the referee holds the clock. Less than 3 minutes to go. Horton with the run. Danny Moore looking busy at dummy half. Here's Terry O'Connor. Good, strong challenge again, and inevitably Retchless. Well, playing with a pain-killing injection, Steel Retchless, but it doesn't seem to make any difference to him. This is Cassidy. That tackle not held. That one is from Cram. 3 tackles gone. Can London hold out here? Tony Smith pops it back to Radlinski, who's joined the line. Here's Danny Moore. Good defence once more. Chris Ryan had the feet taken from him. He bounced down. Danny Moore tackles standing up. The call came from Cowie to come down the short side. He flicks it back. Reba, Smith, on it goes to Robinson. Robinson then to Florimo. Good inventive ball to Gilmore from Florimo, but Gilmore is going backwards. And that's the tackle, the last one in this set of 6. Smith dabs the ball over the top. The defence is Marshall, though. Fleming has it for London.
Again, a poor kick from the Wigan side. On this occasion, Tony Smith You have to put it away from the man. There's no pressure applied to the full back. You have no chance of getting you
London
chases.
have knocked on.
Well, that's a bad mistake from the youngster Dominic Peters. At a crucial time, just lost it. The impact on the trying to get away, and he's lost it.
Struggling to get to his feet. Terry O'Connor all over him. Lost the ball, Dom Peters, so...
Could be a vital mistake, though.
It could be. A minute and a half of the first 40 to go. And Tony Smith with possession from the base of the scrum, and he finds Robinson. Cram gets to him. 10 missed tackles from London. It's an interesting statistic. Reba.
That has amazed me with the scoreline at 12-0. Wigan haven't had much possession.
And they haven't got it now. Cassidy puts the pass down. Under pressure. Lost his footing, lost the football.
Well, I'd like to see how many incomplete sets of 6 that Wigan have done in this first half. Toshak all over him. And some terrier defence from both sides. Look at that, completed sets. Wigan 16.
Out of 18.
Out of 18, so that's
Your impression is that Wigan have been putting the ball down.
Well, they've made so many errors.
Who does these statistics, Steve?
Well, the thing is that don't forget that they have scored 2 tries from their 2 of those sets of 6, so it can give you the wrong impression.
This is Ryan. Gets to his feet and finds Retchless. And that's, again, a good kick from Hammond. He knows that the clock is winding down to half-time. The siren now sounds and the referee says that's okay, that will do. Well, Hammond's been at the engine room of this London performance in the first half, and no wonder their fans are on the feet, because Wigan are trailing here by 12 points to 0, and London, with Toshak and Callaway tries in the first half, have put them in the driving. In the sunshine here at the Stoop in the capital, Wigan restart this second half trailing by 12 points to 0, and it's London who will have the first use of the football. Now, our genius researcher Ian Proctor has been searching and sifting through the record books, and we believe that it is 20 years since Wigan went 2 games without scoring a try. 1979, straddling the months of November and December, they played Bradford and Leeds, didn't score a try in either match. It was the year that Wigan were relegated. And it's about 16 years, there or thereabouts, since they went a game and a half since scoring a try. So, absolutely fascinating stuff. And Ian Proctor has had segs on his eyeballs looking for all those stats during the half-time.
And I'll tell you what, Eddie, brains is rarely wrong.
Absolutely. It's Wes Davis.
Still a long way to go in this match, though, and I'm sure that John Boney, the coach, would have G'd him up. There's plenty of skill out there, and I'm sure he would have said, look at yourself, look in the mirror, dig deep, we need it.
Well, if they lose this match, Wigan, and they haven't lost it yet, but if they lose this match, the alarm bells will be ringing around Central Park. What was said at half-time? Bill Arthur has been earwigging.
Certainly a very calm London Broncos dressing room by all accounts. Pretty satisfied, as you'd imagine, with that first 40 minutes. But Dan Staines, the Broncos coach, wants more of the same in the second half. He doesn't want his side to allow their intensity to drop away. They've got to keep the pressure on this Wigan side. In particular, he wants the kick chase really perfected. It was good in the first half, he wants it better, and the other area he's looking to tighten up is around the play the ball. They were caught out once or twice, the Broncos. They've got to tighten up there. For Wigan, there's no panic in the Wigan camp yet, according to their men on the sideline, but they really know that they've got to pull their socks up in the second half. So far, there's no sign of any change in personnel, any positional changes for Wigan.
That was a great tackle from Radlinski. He was the last line of defence, and Timu, had he got through that, would have been over for a try. This is Toshak.
Straight away you see London attacking the Wigan right flank yet again. Proved so successful in that first half.
Peter Gill will stand and play the ball to Callaway. London will come down the short side with Glen Eyre, and Eyre takes on Cassidy, and Cassidy gets the tackle in. Callaway at dummy half. Here's Hammond. Hammond inside to Millard. Wide it goes now to Retzless. Back on the inside then to Ryan. And Ryan is halted in his tracks. That's the last tackle here for London, but they're inside the danger zone, and it's with Hammond. He goes for the one-pointer. That was charged down by Horton, who gets it back. Wigan do. Danny Moore came up with possession there.
Not a bad option there for Hammond, going for the 1 point, realising that at 12-0, Wigan would have to score virtually 3 times. But good pressure by Terry O'Connor.
And here's Horton now, but Hammond is really controlling this match. Has done so for the 43.5 minutes so far.
The big problem that Wigan have with him is that they're allowing so much space. Oh, that's a bad mistake. Why on earth did you want to try to get that with such heavy traffic around? Just lost control of it.
And London got the ball back, and here's Dominic Peters. Good, strong, brave run. Cowie goes back to his defensive duties, knowing that if London get over for a try, he will have the finger pointed at him. The 8th handling error made by this Wigan side tonight. It's with Fleming, and here comes Millard again. The Wigan defence holding off.
Well, this Carl Hammond, Wigan needs some kryptonite or something. He's Superman. They won't go near it.
And Hammond again. Thought about offloading twice, thought about offloading 3 times, eventually took the tackle from Robinson, gets to his feet. This is Glen Eyre, out wide and out too wide, looking for Smythe.
Well, the nearest man to that was our cameraman. Not the best pass from Glen Eyre. And Smythe gives him a little bit of a dirty look.
And our cameraman couldn't even catch a cold, never mind catch a football.
A bit harsh.
But fair. What an athlete, there he is.
Best smile in the business.
Here's Cassidy.
Well, Cassidy's had a fine season. Even though Wigan have struggled at times, Cassidy has been the one that's really led the way.
That's a better run. Cowie thinks about the offload and does this time.
Good work by Greg Fleming there, though.
Mark Reba was tackled. Radlinski with the kick over the top. Smythe is ambling after this. Oh, and that's a huge error from Smythe. He didn't look interested, in all fairness. And then the ball bounced dreadfully for him.
But why on earth did he want to turn his back and spin around? Maybe they got the bad bounce. It all came from this wonderful run from Neil Cowie. Get out of the way. Well, Beasley fell out and he just said, get away with it. Beautiful offload. Well, for once, you see there, the backup was on hand, Mark Reba.
Well, is this Wigan's moment? Florimo, pass out wide, it is Wigan's moment. And Danny Moore comes up with the try. And at last, the Wigan supporters have got something to shout about. Danny Moore with the try. London stripped bare out wide after the error from Rob Smythe. And Danny Moore points to the badge on his chest and raises a fist. Wigan are back in the business.
Take your chances. Awful bounce though for Smythe. Had 3 attempts at it, and from that mistake, get the ball out wide. Super work there, Florimo. The Australian centre gleefully accepts that. Boy oh boy did Wigan need the 4 points. For once, Florimo has connected out wide. The 2 centres combine. The Warriors are happy to be back.
Well, he scored against London last season, but he has not scored in the last 6 since the home win against Warrington in April. Now then, Phil Jones, standoff normally, in to kick the goals. 125 for Lancashire Lynx last year, and a kicker of some quality, and Wigan are back and in this match. 12-6.
For the first time, they committed to 2 defenders. He got away from it, and then the offload. It was always going to be a touchdown. That really has set this ground alight. The Wigan fans who travel down from the north, they know how important that is. But there's the man that came up with the bad mistake, Rob Smythe.
His third error in the game, and it cost his team 4. O'Connor with a good driving run to the 20-metre line. Wigan have started in much more determined fashion in this second half. Well, that's put one statistic to bed, hasn't it?
Well, we said there was a long way to go, but it will have lifted their spirits. They really were out of sorts in the first half. And probably the man that will lift more than anybody is Greg Florimo, who has struggled over the past few weeks.
It was a brilliant pass, wasn't it?
Was it ever? And so was the one that set it up when Cowie, just a few moments earlier, offloaded to Reba. It was the first time that they'd really supported.
Oh, Dominic Peters allowed it to bounce. Fatally, Davis under the sticks. 2 in 2 minutes for Wigan. A huge bomb from Radlinski. Peters allowed the ball to bounce, crucially, and it spun back for Davis. He was first to react, and he swooped in and underneath the sticks. Billy McGinty pats him on the chest. Wigan are back.
Try the option, the high kick. You've always got to get underneath it. Radlinski has taken that role now in this second half. It was a bad mistake there by Peters. And it bounced favourably for this man Davis. Had one good run in the first half, but you cannot afford to do this. Radlinski with a towering bomb. Peters was in a good position. He decided to let it bounce. You cannot do that, son. Otherwise, you pay the price, just like this. Wigan are back with a vengeance.
Where's Davis? His try converted by Phil Jones. It's 12-all, and in the twinkling of an eye in this second half, Wigan have squared matters up. It's game on at the Stoop now.
Well, the one move that John Money has done already is to make sure that Radlinski comes up, takes control of the kicking game. He's already put 2 towering kicks in this second half. He looks a little bit more relaxed now, does Mr. Money.
Hammond restarts, Robinson's underneath it, here comes O'Connor. Suddenly Wigan are running with venom again. The 20-year-old Dominic Peters, if he does nothing more, he will have learned a big lesson here tonight, that you simply don't allow the ball to bounce, because when it hits the deck, that thing can do anything.
And it has. First Smythe, followed shortly after by the mistake from Peters.
Wigan are buzzing now. Reba gets the ball away to Moore. It's a test of the London defence now, and indeed their character.
More
Cowie.
importantly, they've got to keep control and keep calm. Oh, again, Cowie offloads.
Brilliant offload that time. They do look good, don't they, when they come off. That's the last tackle. On halfway, Robinson plays the ball to Reba. He finds Radlinski. This time it's a driller, and that does bounce. Oh, and Peters, he's got to rebuild his confidence now, but a super run from the kicker. That's not the best pass. Timu did well.
They rattled at the Broncos. Not surprisingly, though it did surprise me that Radlinski opted for a kick low rather than going for the bomb yet again. It's brought them 2 tries.
They're after it now, Wigan. They're putting Hammond under pressure. Flat run. And he thought for an instant about the offload, but instead took Danny Moore's tackle.
Steady the ship, that's a word that Dan Staines will be getting out to his charges now.
Here's the last. Hammond under pressure from Smith, gets the kick away, but it's not the best. Radlinski collects it on the bounce. Here come Wigan again. He's directed where he was going. And Timu and Smythe took the hint. Jones at dummy half. Here's Florimo. Brilliant pass from him to set up that first Danny Moore try. And again now. Here's Jones.
Well, it's all coming up for the Warriors now. It's amazing what a score can do for your side.
And runs from these forwards. Sean Edwards said the runs were there in the first half. There wasn't any support. No creativity. There's creativity now. That's Horton. That was a beautiful pass. And Horton did well, and so did Tosha.
Beautiful dummy, they've left the gap.
Reba. Last one for Wigan. Horton loops it into the arms of Robinson. Here's Smith. Drills it looking for Jones. Oh, and they're in a right mess. Fleming collided with his own man. Couldn't get out of the in-goal area.
Beautiful kick from Smith, but this is suicide mission, isn't it? Would have really left it for one or the other. Either way, Fleming finally gets to it. It was a nasty bounce, left Smythe and Fleming in two minds. Smythe caught the elbow of the full-back Greg Fleming. But this really is suicide mission. Wonderful option by Tony Smith. Didn't see much of him in the first half. They shut him down. They're buzzing now. Another wicked bounce. Couldn't get out of the way. Smythe would have felt that.
He's all right, back on his feet.
He's a lump of a boy, he's a full-back Greg Fleming.
Drop out from Hammond has got length. Radlinski, it sticks. Now, where's the chase? It's arrived. Horton running strongly. Wigan have got their tails up. Here's Davis.
Well, isn't that amazing? They've done twice as many runs from dummy half in the opening 13 minutes than they did the entire first half. And that's a big key.
They're up off the ropes, are Wigan. This is Betts. Gill had him round the ankles. Reba dummy half. Tony Smith. Jason Robinson. Cassidy takes the tackle, the last one, this set of six.
Surely the bomb again.
Florimo will hoist it. That's a cracker. Peters is after it. Oh! Peters has dropped it!
That'll be
and
try.
That's a try for Reba. The referee hands it on to the video ref.
The London man's knocked on, the Wigan man's come through and grounded it. But just have a little look to see if there were possibly two knock-ons. I don't think there was.
I think this is a try to Reba.
And if it is, it's a second monumental error from young Dominic Peters.
But there's no protection at all. He misread it. This is try time to Mark Reba. Oh, did he wobble that? Oh, now then. I don't think the referee has called for whether they ground him. But where is the protection for this kid? He lost it completely in the air. He was put under pressure there by Danny Moore. Ricochets away. Moore gets to it. It comes off his knee. So that's play on. And Reba, now then, does he get it down cleanly? This is interesting. Frame by frame, that's what they're looking at. Oh, well, it's the body. Did he have full control? I think this is TRY.
And the Wigan fight back is now complete. Reba with the try, and poor old Dominic Peters. I say poor old, he's 20 years of age, cruelly exposed by the champions.
All on his own. That is poor defensive quality by the London Broncos. It's as though they said, oh, this is going to be a try anyway. Florimo with a huge bomb. Well, how many times have we seen this at the bomb option? It may not be the best attacking ploy in the world or the fanciest, but it comes up with the goods yet again. 3 kicks, 3 tries. The Warriors take the lead.
And 4 tries now for Reba in his last 8 appearances, and Jones, kicker of some quality, this young man, and Wigan now are 6 ahead after turning round 12 down at half-time. The ladies are happy because Wigan have come up with 3 tries in 9 minutes.
Beautiful kick, well weighted, but there's no one there. They stopped. You've got to get in front and try to assist the man going for the football. It allowed this man, Mark Reba, who has not had the best of seasons. He'll admit that himself. It's taken him a time. To be fair to him, he had to start his career at Wigan in the half-back role because of Tony Smith's injury. But he has taken his chance well. Well, what a turnaround.
What a turnaround indeed. Here is Wigan's injured captain, Andy Farrell, with Bill.
Andy, what was in the tea at half-time?
It was sandwiches, actually, cheese and pickle sandwiches. No, we're playing with a lot of enthusiasm in the second half, and our forwards are going great. We're running with a lot of venom, and gives our backs a lot of quality backline shots, and we're chasing our kicks very well. So hopefully we can carry on this way.
It's a different side almost, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. You know, the main thing was not to panic because you know, London in a few games have lost it in the second half. So you know, we did drop a few balls in the first half, but it looks like London's tiring a bit now.
After 101 consecutive appearances, what's it like sitting on the sidelines?
It's quite good, actually. It's a good game to watch.
Andy Farrell out for at least a fortnight. I'm sure it won't be long before he's back. But at the moment, Wigan are turning this match on its head, and Dan Staines has got a real job to do. Suddenly Wigan are running with much more venom, and the creativity that Sean Edwards talked about during half-time has come flooding back, and so has the confidence.
Well, they've gone for the free-kick option, and it really has come up trumps. But you have noticed, I'm sure, that the way that the forwards are now running with a lot more venom. They're getting over the advantage line, which they failed to do in the first stanza. And they've got to be careful now.
Drop goal attempt from Tony Smith. Sliced it off the outside of the boot. It's still in play. Smythe has got a devil's job to get out of it. He's out though. Phil Jones got him on the line, but he just managed to roll his body over the whitewash. But this is good defence now from Wigan.
Well, it turned out okay for Wigan there. Sliced away from Tony Smith, but you can see now that the defence really is swarming all over the Broncos. Their biggest problem, holding on to this football. They've had little possession in this second half.
No penalty count, just 4, and evenly squared between the two. Here's Millard, who gets the ball away to Ryan. Good tackle from Davis. It's a good run that. It's given London territory, and they're running it on the last with Rexless. Rexless stabs the ball through. If he picks this up, this will be interesting. Good work from Radlinski.
Just didn't have the speed there. Second rower steal Rexless. Quick thinking. Oh, mistake!
No, referee's got for a penalty.
Square markers.
Not standing square at the play of the ball.
Well, it looked as though that Wigan perhaps had come up with a mistake. Tense times. Carl Hammond, of course, being the captain, can have a discussion with the official Steve Ganson. That's what he's done.
I don't think he's found touch here. He hasn't. That's an error. And here's Fleming. That's a big error from, I think it was Phil Jones who took the penalty. And here comes Toshak. Can London capitalise on the Wigan mistake?
Well, who would have thought that? Surely they would have brought Radlinski up. He was given the job of the kicking in the second half.
So London with an opportunity, and it's Toshak. Disappears beneath 3 cherry and white jerseys.
Well, what a game this is turning out to be. So many twists and turns.
This is Millard. London are camped underneath the sticks with Hammond. Glenair trying to examine this Wigan defence out wide. Hammond again, turning back down the short side, stabs it through the legs of one, he's after it, and Radlinski just hacked the ball dead, took no chances whatsoever.
Great attack. Equal to it was the defence of Radlinski.
Nutmeg Cowie.
Boy, oh boy, how Radlinski reads this game so well. So does Hammond. He knew he was coming. Waited until the very last moment. More pressure. Well, he's tried his hardest. But what a mistake, not finding touch earlier. And it surprised me that he did not take that kick.
Well, he's going to take this one from underneath the sticks. Gets great length on it too. And back they come again. Callaway standing at dummy half. Here's Seabold. It was his try that sealed a narrow win against Hull Sharks here on Good Friday, which was London's last victory of any sort. This is Rexless. Callaway again at dummy half. Hammond with a bit of room to work. Seabold now. Almost slipped. Oh, and he tried to slip the pass away.
Knock on. Well, he's trying a little bit too hard there. A lot of heavy traffic. Seabold, was it an arm there? Pretty hard to say. The London fans didn't like it when they see it on the video. I think you'll find that Reba's right arm, 2-on-1, lucky to get away with it. Of course, the official, Steve Gamson, he doesn't have the advantage of the video screen.
Here's Florimo.
Well, it's amazing how a game can just twist and turn away, isn't it?
Oh, and Smythe has gone down, clutching the knee. Here's Cassidy.
There's a collision there. Caught it right on the edge of the right knee.
This is Gilmore. Well, it's that time again for you to phone in for the man of the match, your view. And don't forget, you have to try and predict who the losing coach will choose as man of the match. And if you get the name right, you can win 2 grand final tickets for Old Trafford on October the 9th.
Well, a bad mistake by Terry O'Connor. Losing the football as he hits the ground. He tried to get away. You can see he was struggling to offload. I don't know why.
Rexler's got a nasty bang on the back of the head as well.
There's the incident again. You can see that he lost control of it, but why are they trying to offload when they're leading by 6 points? Possession is vital. You've got to try to starve the opposition so that they can't get the momentum going. And it was amazing to see Terry O'Connor, after he got up off the ground, he thumped his head with his right fist. Dole.
Rexless just walks away.
Well, it's a tough cookie. They'll have asked him which earth he's on, or which planet. Wouldn't have mattered which it was.
Millard puts it down now. Well, London are contributing, I'm afraid, to their own downfall.
Wasn't a bad pass. He should have taken that.
That was on the very first tackle. Big error. Will it become giant size? Robinson. Oh, he applied the brakes and went back the other way. Here now is Cowie.
He's been the difference, hasn't he, this second half? Neil Cowie showing his old style, how a prop forward should move in. Really roll his sleeves up. He's led the way as Cowie.
Well, he started just 13 games last year, did Neil Cowie, but managed to squeeze his way into the Great Britain setup and indeed into the Dream Team, if I remember rightly as well. The fictional team that is chosen as the pick of the Super League. Gilmore's put it down.
Simple run around. And Gilmore hit him on the chest.
Now Rob Smythe. But these runs are terribly flat from London. Peters, what would he give for a try now, having come up with the 2 errors that have cost London the lead?
Well, again, you see Peters, he could be penalised for that. He's got a technique that a referee could penalise. You've got to regain your feet. He's putting it onto the ground when he's still tackled. Surely they've got to sort that out with him. It's a problem with him.
Callaway takes the tackle from Cowie. Millard is at dummy half. Here's Hammond again. Another lovely little chip over the top. And he's got that back, and what's more, he's got 6 to go in the tackle count. Well, Carl Hammond's been inventive enough tonight. Here's Millard.
That was great vision. That was too high. Tony Smith got away with a few of those today as the little halfback. Not on this occasion. You see Millard's head go back. Swinging arm, right in the chops. So not surprisingly, a caution from the official, Steve Gamson.
Just bring him down. Don't get involved. Look at the score then. He's coming.
He's told Tony Smith to keep them down. But look at this from Hammond.
He's a thinker, that is for sure.
He's just deposited the ball into touch from the penalty, so London will come again. Hint of a touch of blood from the nose of Carl Hammond. This is Rexless. Cowie's gone off. London will be glad to see the back of him, and Mestrov comes on. Here's Hammond. Oh, not the best. Turned into it. It went forward. I was going to say turned into a decent pass by Toshak. But again, early in the tackle count, London surrender possession.
Well, this is after the first tackle. What on earth are they thinking?
Was that forward? From that angle, it didn't look it.
Pretty hard to see. Either way, it was in a good position, Steve Gamson. Well, they're bringing their own downfall, I'm afraid. Now the Broncos. Oh,
Jones has lost that.
Oh, now the officials haven't seen that. Well, it's amazing what they've seen and what they've missed. Not that Wigan will complain.
London might, and they have another look at this.
Just drops it. Wasn't knocked.
Looking to get away with that.
So vital, things like that. Lady Luck shining on there, but that's good defence. That's better.
London have steadied the ship down, haven't they?
Yeah, they've weathered the storm. They needed to as well.
Radlinski with a big boomer. That's better. Better claim by Fleming. 3 tries in 9 minutes. London were rocking, but now they're coming strong again, and they're not out of this. Only 6 points. Peters.
I'll say the Wigan defence is also tightened up somewhat.
Here's Cram.
Great tackle by Florimo, going low.
Seabold.
Oh, good work by Wigan there. You see how he squeezed Seabold in there. Nowhere for him to go.
Glenair, but great defensive work now from Robinson and Florimo. That's the last. Hammond's under pressure, but he manages to get the kick in and will turn Wigan around.
Good option. He was put under a lot of pressure there, was the London skipper. You can see there was nowhere to go on the open side. He quickly went onto the blind, took the short option. 11 kicks in general play, 8 of them attacking, so he really has been on fire tonight. But he knows he's still 6 points adrift. It's important they get their pressure on now. The defence has to be up for it.
Wigan's head and feet at the scrum. 6 away games now. 2 defeats so far, those coming at Bradford and Halifax. And you saw them both on Sky Sports. And at half-time tonight, it looked like we were going to see the third, but credit the champions, they've rolled their sleeves up. And those 3 tries in 9 minutes changed the entire course of this game, and now London are coming from behind.
I'm sure that Dan Staines will be looking towards those 3 mistakes within the space of 5 or 6 minutes that brought 3 Wigan tries, got them in front. But he knows he's not out of it. He knows that patience is a key.
Well, London themselves were runners-up in 1997 in Super League, but, you know, defeat here will actually leave them looking anxiously over their shoulders at the relegation zone. That's better from Peters.
Big sigh of relief, not only from Peters, but from the entire crowd as they applied even more pressure to the youngster.
It went very quiet, didn't it, when the ball was in the air?
It's been a tough second half.
Here's Scott Cram over the halfway line, but only just. 4 tackles gone. Hammond, will he try something? Well, he's gone wide instead to Toshak. And that's the last. There's Hammond, and Hammond's running it on the power play. Support from Retzless. He had the ball knocked out of his arms.
Knock on.
And he'll play the first.
No advantage. Good refereeing there by Steve Ganson. So that the ball came away. Retzless couldn't handle it. Well, he did, but couldn't take it in. And seeing as there was no advantage to Wigan side, good play by the official.
Mestrov in possession. He gets to his feet, plays the ball. Reba. And here's Wes Davis.
Oh, that could have been a
I was going to say, he could easily have been penalised then. Here's Dennis Betts.
He's up the tempo as well as Betts. He knows how important it is.
It's important for him personally. First-time skipper in Super League. As I said in the first half, he doesn't want to be on the losing side tonight of all nights.
Now then, will it be another bomb? Will they apply the pressure? They're going to the right instead.
Neat little kick. Flicked it over the top, did Radlinski.
And that's all that's needed. Just keep things calm. We know that the clock is ticking away, and that means that the pressure will be applied to London to try something different, to force the pass under pressure. That's when the mistakes. But look at this fella here. His first game back after injury, 42 tackles.
You didn't make that many in a career, did you?
Do you know, I think you might be right.
Here's Ryan. Good tackle there from Betts. Go on.
Amaze me with some of your stats, you know.
Ian Proctor gave me that one.
Last time he gets a drink, Mr. Brains.
Well, have London got anything left in the locker? 10.5 minutes to go.
I must say though, Eddie, it's great to see how that Wigan have sorted out their problems in defence. Remember in the first half, they were having trouble with Florimo in the defensive section, and he's playing a little bit tighter. Look at the pressure that's been applied there from Wigan. That was superb stuff.
Glenn Eyre did really well to get that kick away, but it's right down the throat of Davis, and here they come again. Hammond missed the tackle, Rexless didn't. That's 43 or more.
Well, you think he'd have to be going through the burnout period, wouldn't he? In the last 10 minutes, hasn't played for quite some time. Just didn't get his man there.
Clark to O'Connor.
Well, basic football from Wigan. They don't need anything fancy, just drive up and get into a position where Tony Smith perhaps can go for the 1 point. Radlinski.
That's the last. It's with Radlinski. Wasn't interested, he's gone for the touchline, but he's going to make Rob Smythe play at this, and now Wigan will hunt another mistake. What a great tackle from Reba.
Shattered him all the way there, didn't he? But more to the point, a better kick from Radlinski then. Kept the ball in the field of play.
0660, 10, 10, 13. Who do you think the coaches will pick as man of the match? And incidentally, if it's a draw, they both make a choice. And guess who makes the final decision? Mr. Michael Stevenson.
It's not Sunday yet. You don't have to call me by my Sunday name, my Sunday best. Not the best there from Carl Hammond. He will be bitterly disappointed with that. But what a game he's had.
I mentioned that you're going to be the final arbiter in the case of a draw, because London have drawn their last 2 at home. I wonder.
Plenty of time left. The message will be going out from John Mooney to just play it safe, eat up the clock, make sure that you get through your sets of 6, make the kick and chase good, and then if you get into a position, go for the 1 point. I think so late in the game, it will perhaps kill off the London challenge.
Good ball, Gilmore. Gilmore still, he's away from one. Flicked inside to Tony Smith. They won't need the 1-pointer. They'll take the 4. And Tony Smith gets the try next to the posts. Gilmore made it with the initial break. He could not be put down by the London defence. And as every good scrum half does, Tony Smith was there in support, and he comes up with try number 3, and that, I think, will kill off the London challenge.
Well, such a talent. Lee Gilmore, so much strength. Beautiful pass from Smith, but they went far too high. He's a strong boy, is Gilmore, and the man who is famous for support play. Following in the footsteps of Sean Edwards, Reba, who's had a lot better game tonight in the second half. You cannot afford to go high. You've got to get to this young lad's legs. Smith in attendance. He's a happy bunny, and why not?
And just take a look at that. A try scorer in 5 consecutive matches between these two in Super League. Tony Smith. Phil Jones, faultless tonight with his goal kicking. That's 4 from 4. And 24 points to 12. Wigan have turned the game around. And Buck is signing the autographs. But I'm afraid London are going to lose this match now.
See the defender going out wide. It's just a half chance. And when you don't go low, it turns into a full chance. 2 attempted to get through to him. They made a real meat of it.
They've gone for the short kick-off and come up with it with Glenn Eyre.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
Get out of it.
And
Don't
it is.
come in interfering.
Just holds London up, and the defence sets. Here's Toshak. Well, credit London, they are 12 points adrift now, having been 12 up at half-time, but they're not giving it up yet. Even though the commentators are. Here's Millard.
Again, the scrambling defence from Wigan. What an improvement. in the second half, and that was a big impact by Cowie. Millard felt that.
That's a good ball. This is Cram, and it's a chance.
Oh, he's lost it.
He's lost it over the line.
He reached for it. And
It was Glenair who lost it.
just left his fingertips.
Not one of the biggest.
He did everything right about it. It was just that inch too far. He wouldn't have made it if he had control. That's the reason why he just overstretched. It was a good move. He came back on the inside.
Will Jones comes off, having kicked the goals, and Liam Bretherton, 19 years of age, comes on. But this is the reason why Wigan have got back into this match. Their forwards have run with some vigour in the second half.
Well, they've done the hard work needed.
They had the scare, didn't they, though, in the first 40? They really did.
You've got to utilise your six, but you've got to get those hit-ups. But you've still got to point to the fact that London have come up with 3 errors within the space of 6 minutes and changed the entire match.
Another kick from Radlinski to Peters. This time he claims it and does well. But Wes Davis comes back and pulls him down. Now Chris Ryan.
Been a good battle between the two youngsters, hasn't it? Davis and Peters. Sadly for Peters, he's come up with 2 bad mistakes that led to tries to Davis and Reba.
Here's Hammond. Will be unlucky to be on the losing side. Timu.
And again, we see the qualities that we didn't see in that first half, the defensive attitude of Greg Florimo. Obviously, Moni had a few words in his ear.
Smash tackle here. This is Hammond. They've not fallen out again, have they?
Went pretty close, I'll tell you. Oh, he got that in. That's the last one, Glenair.
Just over 3 minutes to go at the Stoop, and London on their way to an important victory, really, after being 12-0 down at half-time. And they are, the teeth are in.
It was only a wobble, wasn't a loss or an assist.
You've had a bit of a problem with them this season, haven't you? Oh, dear me. Gilmore. The last time we mentioned Steve-O's teeth, he got 4 dentists on the phone.
5, actually.
Good kick. Touched in flat. Oh, it could have been another try there. And here now is Millard.
Good run as well. Total confusion yet again. They really have had no idea with these big kicks from Wigan in the second 40 minutes. They've been all at sea, put under the pressure.
Here's Rob Smythe.
Well, they'll be bitterly disappointed, the London Broncos. They look to have had this game well and truly under control at half-time.
They're looking for a consolation try. This is Glenair. Back it goes, and somehow the pass stuck with Hammond. 2 good dummies, and again, well, he really has had a fine match.
Well, he doesn't deserve to be on the losing side, does he?
Does not. And here's Millard. Stabs the ball through. That's bounced off the legs. Danny Moore.
Well, a marked improvement by Wigan. I'm sure that John Money will breathe a huge sigh of relief. They were on the rack. They looked awful in that first half. It's amazing what tactical talk at half-time can do to a side.
Well, Wigan will join St Helens and Warrington as the only other teams to actually claim a win here. But the London Broncos' agony will continue. This will be their 11th match now in both League and Cup without a victory. And it was going so well, wasn't it? at half-time. The ball grubbed along. Peters wasn't there again. Moore was. Moore has support. And John Clark crowns his return to Super League with a try. Referee hasn't given
Just
it.
check. He was onside, Danny Moore. I'm almost certain he was, but I just want to be sure.
We heard it from the lips of Steve Ganson, the match referee. Was Danny Moore onside?
Well, I think it looks all right here. Yep. Well onside.
By a mile.
There's a beautiful dink through. Beautiful effort there. No doubt about it. Two people on the outside. That's what the little bit Chiawai.
Try it is. And Wigan's John Clark, an enforced absence until tonight from the Super League scene. 5 tries in reserve grade and now 1 in Super League 1999.
Well, Greg Florimo, should I say, was a beautifully weighted kick. Oh, that was sensational play. Good support play. The hooker would have enjoyed that. Well, it was a nightmare for Florimo in the first half, but not in the second.
And what's more, he's kicked the goal to make it London 12, Wigan 30. There's the full-time siren. Wigan silence a few doubters, I fancy, with that second half performance. Crowned by John Clark's try right on the stroke of full-time. Their supporters were worried at half-time, but Tony Smith and company, they have come up with 5 tries in the second half to snatch a victory from what looked like the jaws of defeat at half-time. But Carl Hammond can hold his head up high